Let's start right at the heart. Why is it so terrifying to speak English out loud? We've all felt it, palms sweaty, mouth dry, the words just won't come. Psychologists call this communication apprehension, basically the fear of being judged or misunderstood. Imagine standing on stage with a spotlight on you. Every little mistake echoing sounds familiar. Now, you might be thinking, but I know the grammar. Why can't I just speak? The answer is simple. Performance anxiety hijacks your working memory, the brain's notepad, making it hard to remember even basic words. Here's a personal story. I once froze ordering coffee in London, not because I didn't know latte, but because I was convinced I'd sound silly. Embarrassment is powerful, but here's the big truth: fear is universal. Every fluent speaker has stumbled. So, what's the real secret to breaking through? Let's talk myths. So many believe you must be perfect before you speak. False. There's a big difference between fluency speaking smoothly and accuracy speaking correctly. Think about it like driving. Fluency is keeping the car moving, even if you take a wrong turn. Accuracy is knowing every street by heart. Which matters more when you just need to get somewhere? Now, some might argue, but won't mistakes fossilize? Won't I sound uneducated? Here's the science. Making errors is how your procedural memory, your autopilot, builds skill. In fact, research from Cambridge in 2017 found that students who prioritized communication over correctness advanced twice as fast. So, the next time you trip over your words, congratulate yourself. You're actually learning at top speed. Let's dig deeper. Where does this anxiety really come from? Is it about English, or is it about ourselves? Experts call this affective filter, the emotional barrier blocking input and output. It's like trying to listen to music with thick earmuffs on. Now, imagine you're at a party, and someone asks, "Where are you from?" Suddenly, your accent feels like a giant neon sign. That self-consciousness is your affective filter in action. But here's the kicker. This filter isn't permanent. Lowering it is within your control. Confidence is a muscle you can train. So, how do we turn down the volume on fear and turn up the courage? Let's find out. Perfectionism, the silent killer of language dreams. Ever caught yourself rehearsing a simple phrase in your head a dozen times before saying it? Linguists call this monitoring, when your brain's error checker goes into overdrive. It's like trying to write an essay with an eraser in hand, deleting every sentence before it's finished. Here's a question. Do native speakers speak perfectly? Of course not. Even the Queen of England says and makes slips. Now, you might protest, but people will notice my mistakes. Actually, studies show listeners focus on your ideas, not your grammar. So give yourself permission to be imperfect. That's the fastest route to natural, fearless speech. Here's a bold claim. Mistakes aren't embarrassing, they're essential. Let me tell you why. Cognitive neuroscientists talk about error-driven learning, where your brain rewires itself every time you notice a slip. Think of mistakes as GPS recalculating your route. I once congratulated a German friend for passing her exam, but I said exam instead of driving test. We laughed, and I've never mixed up the words since. Now, you might wonder, aren't repeated errors dangerous? Only if you avoid feedback. Every correction tightens your neural networks, like patching potholes on a road. So, when you mess up, smile and see it as brain training in action. Let's shift gears. Want to speak better? Start by listening differently. Linguists call it input hypothesis. The more you hear, the more patterns your subconscious collects, like how kids learn their first language. Instead of obsessing over every word, immerse yourself in podcasts, movies, conversations. Your brain is a supercomputer, crunching data, building fluency. Now, maybe you're thinking, but I need to speak, not just listen. True. But without rich input, output is shaky, like trying to cook without tasting the ingredients first. So, make listening your secret weapon. It's the silent foundation of fearless speaking. Here's a truth most textbooks won't tell you. Speaking is a physical skill, just like riding a bike or playing piano. Think of muscle memory, those neural circuits that automate movement. In language, this is your articulatory loop, the brain's speech rehearsal system. Let me pose a challenge. Would you learn basketball by only reading about it? Of course not. To improve, you have to shoot actual hoops. Now, some learners say, but I'm afraid to make mistakes when practicing. Remember, every attempt strengthens your speaking muscle, even if you stumble. So, get out there, record yourself, join conversations, talk to your pet goldfish. Practice is the engine that powers confidence. What if I told you the best language partner is always available? That's right, it's you. Psycholinguists call it private speech when you narrate your actions or thoughts aloud. It's like a dress rehearsal for real conversations. Let me give you an example. Try describing your morning routine out loud. I'm making coffee, I'm opening the window. Suddenly, common phrases become second nature. You might wonder, won't I look silly talking to myself? Maybe, but studies show self-talk boosts fluency and reduces anxiety by 40%. So, make self-talk your daily warm-up. The mirror is the least judgmental listener you'll ever meet. Here's a secret. All fluent speakers use pauses and filler words. Yes, even in English. Linguists call these disfluencies words like well, or you know. They're not mistakes. They're tools to buy thinking time and sound natural. Ever listen to TED Talks? Even pros pause and say, It's the verbal equivalent of punctuation. Now, you might be worried, won't that make me seem unsure? Actually, research shows moderate fillers make you more relatable and less robotic. So next time you need a moment, let yourself pause. It's your brain loading the next sentence. Let's get practical. Want to speak fearlessly? See it before you say it. Sports psychologists call this mental rehearsal, imagining yourself succeeding to lower anxiety. In language learning, visualization builds neural pathways before you even open your mouth. Picture this. You're at a business meeting. You see yourself greeting everyone, exchanging ideas, answering questions with ease. Your brain starts believing it's possible. You might doubt, isn't this just wishful thinking? Actually, fMRI scans show mental practice activates the same brain regions as real practice. So, the next time you feel nervous, close your eyes, visualize success, and watch your confidence soar. Let's face it, environment matters. If you're always worried about criticism, it's hard to speak up. Educators talk about scaffolding, providing support as you stretch your skills. Think of it like training wheels on a bike. Find or form a speaking club, join online language exchanges, or partner with a study buddy who's encouraging, not judgmental. Now, you might ask, what if I can't find a group? Even recording yourself and sharing with supportive friends counts. When your speaking space feels safe, your confidence and your English grows by leaps and bounds. Finally, let's talk about momentum. Fear fades when you see progress. But progress needs clear, doable goals. Psychologists call these SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's like plotting checkpoints on your language journey. Don't aim for perfect conversation. Instead, try share my opinion in English for 2 minutes, or ask 3 questions at my next meetup. Now, you may be thinking, isn't that too simple? But small wins stack up. Each success is a vote for your new identity as a confident speaker. So, set your sights on achievable steps and celebrate every milestone along the way. So what's the secret to speaking English without fear? It's not talent. It's not a magic memory pill. It's the courage formula. Speak, stumble, succeed. Every attempt chips away at anxiety, and every mistake is a step forward. Let me leave you with this. Imagine your future self, fluent and fearless. What would you thank yourself for starting today? You might still feel nervous, and that's normal. But with the right strategies, embracing mistakes, practicing, visualizing, and celebrating progress, you'll transform that fear into confidence. So get out there. Speak up. Your journey to fearless English starts now.